Johnny Warren medalist is with me alongside Craig Foster and David Zrilich. He's also a Johnny Warren Football Foundation ambassador. And Marcos, you've got a shirt to sign for one lucky viewer that's going to be put on the World Game Facebook page. So that's going to be a great prize because obviously your signature is highly valued in Australia.
No, not really. But the thing is one beautiful present of the Johnny Warren Foundation. I'm so happy to share with all Australian supporters. And we have to follow his way.
Absolutely. And Nicky Carl's also an ambassador. And I remember years ago, Foz, when I first called National Soccer League football, he used to sing the praises, Johnny Warren, of Nicky Carl, in the way he sprung onto the scene as a 16-year-old for Sydney Olympic all those years ago.
Well, he always loved technical players, of course, and players who could improvise and provide something different, you know, the creativity. And there's no question, I think everyone out there would agree with us that, you know, Marcos and Nicky, of course, you know, would be ideal. Johnny would have been absolutely delighted to have Marcos on board. OK, Marcos, have a look at the first match-up for Graz, because we've got Melbourne Heart, their first win since 3 draws, and there is the signed shirt. Well done, Marcos. That's there for passion, isn't it?
Yeah, with my passion. With
my passion for Marcos Flores. Bit of passion involved in this performance because Melbourne Heart in the second half, in particular, guys, very impressive indeed.
They were absolutely brilliant, like you mentioned, in the second half, and some beautiful goals as well. Fred was involved in the build-up for the first goal and finished it off. But I tell you what, Eli Babaj up front, he really looked good, and the big man, there's been a lot of expectation with him, but he's the lead up to the goal. Here's Fred. We've just seen him do there so much for Melbourne victory, and then finishing it off with a beautiful strike. And then Deganzic, another ex-Victory player, gets the second one, and Bajic with the third. But a lot of times there were teams are trying to play out from the back, but that's how obviously not to do it. And Deganzic finishing it off, and this goal was brilliant as well. So I just thought that they were needing it. Well, it goes without saying they were needing a win, but this was a beautiful finish, and they had some unlucky moments against Sydney, obviously losing it late against them, so I think they deserve the victory.
They're going to lose a host of players to the Olympic qualifiers very shortly. Scoreless at the Central Coast between the Mariners and Melbourne Victory. We know Melbourne Victory lost a number of players for international duty. Probably fortunate to get away with a point, weren't they? Away from home?
They were, indeed. Central Coast Mariners, in the second half in particular, had a bunch of chances or half chances, and they put them under real pressure. First half was a bit of a balanced battle between the two. Victory had some good periods, as did the Mariners. You know, to me, when the Mariners, particularly Josh Rose, I thought in the second half and glimpses in the first, is starting to just show signs of what he did last year. And I think with the Mariners, when they try to go central, they really struggle. I think they lack the sort of, you know, the technical players to get through those tight spaces. But when they get the wide areas involved, they really start to look good again. And when this guy gets up wide on the right and gets some support with someone overlapping or he around them and Josh on the other side, they start to look dangerous again. So when they use the flanks, they're a very good team. When they don't, they look, you know, far more laborious. For the victory, Rojas come into the sort of number 10 role. The thing I couldn't understand is around Archie. You know, Archie, I understand he might not have been 100%. They sort of had a short week after, you know, playing 9 men against the Raw, so they're physically drained. But, you know, last week he played on the last line as the number 9, and he scores 2 wonderful goals, right? And then he's, in this game in the first half, he's dropping back in the midfield again, very deep. And you're sort of thinking, well, you know, it's how does that quite work? So for Melbourne Victory, still very much a work in progress.
And the Mariners travel up the highway to play Sydney FC, who travelled away, and this is a big trip for them, Marcos, against Perth Glory. Nicky Carl, who you spent a lot of time with today, he's had 6 assists, I think 3 goals this season, in a sensational performance. He's been fit. I'm sure you're glad to see him back to his best.
Yeah, of course. I said to him, I am his fan, and I follow him. Last season I was voting him for win the Johnny Warren medal. I think it's unbelievable. And the last season was unfit, and now he's coming back, and I'm so happy because he made me enjoy the time in my computer watching Sydney.
Really? Right. Well, Mark Bridges scored the goal. Carl assisted in the second half. Dodd and Sturgiovski's changed the complexion for Perth.
I watched Travis Dodd when he came on in this game, and my first reaction was, why did Adelaide get rid of him? Right? Because he come on in the left